Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. My dear friends, look, all of us want to be something. All of us want to reach somewhere else. All of us want to achieve something. And that is something really nice. It's not bad at all. It's good. It's a sign and symbol of the life. It's a sign and symbol of the life. We should live fully. As long as we are alive, we should keep struggling. We should keep working hard. We should keep working smart. We should keep working. And we should keep struggling, my dear friends and fellows. Struggle is for everybody, even for a person who is a penniless person, even a person who is a rich person, even a person who is a super rich person, even a person who belongs to the middle class. The struggle is for everybody. Because the struggle means that not only we are able to maintain ourselves, rather we are also able to move forward as well. But if at all the struggle is lacking, it actually means that not only we are not able to move forward, we are not even able to retain ourselves, maintain ourselves, sustain ourselves. That's not possible for us. So I think that it is really, really important, for us to keep struggling, to keep working hard. And all of that will only be possible if at all we are better able to keep ourselves out of the comfort zone. We do have to step out of the comfort zone. As for my comfort zone, your comfort zone is concerned, this comfort zone of ours will not allow us to develop, to prosper, to move forward, to be something. I think it will not allow us at all. So, my dear friends and fellows, I think that we need to keep ourselves. We need to step outside the comfort zone. Today we are going to talk about why it is so important. How can it be done? Rather, if at all you have taken a decision that I want to keep myself, I want to step out. I want to step out of my comfort zone. I want to stay out of my comfort zone. So, what we need to do in a situation like this one, in a case like this one, if at all we already understand the importance of the comfort zone, come stepping out of the comfort zone. So, there are certain things we do have to take care of, these certain things. What are these? Let's look upon all that one by one. There are more than a dozen, things like this one, which will provide us with the guidance, which will provide us with a sort of relevant information about stepping out of the comfort zone. So, my dear friends and fellows, so there are certain actionable tips. S- there are a dozen actionable tips for stepping out of the comfort zone. What are these? Let's look upon all that one by one. First of all, it is try to meet those people who are the confident people. Try to be with them for some of the time. Try to develop a sort of relationship with these people who are the confident people. Now, the second thing is take it step by step. We do have to take it step by step. That mean doing it suddenly, doing it, all together at the same time. It is not good at all. Take it step by step. Then the third is consider the worst that could happen. Consider the worst that could happen. The worst case scenario, it should be kept in the mind. And not only this thing, rather, we should also be thinking about if at all a situation like this one does take place, how shall I be able to manage it? How shall I be able to tackle it? How shall I be able to, take it? So, dear friend, consider the worst that could happen. The next is start small to create habits. Start small to create habit. What is meant by this? You are not working absolutely. So you want to start. You are not walking absolutely. You are not doing any form of the exercise like the gym, like the yoga, the aerobics, or any other. Now you want to start your walk. What to do in a situation like this one? It is not advised to start walking 1 hour, 2 hour day on a daily basis. or hitting the gym for 1 full hour of the practice. It's not advised at all. So what we need to do is, even if at all you want to start writing, you want to learn the writing, so trying to write a book, you won't be able to do it in a single step. So all what is needed is that if at all you want to start working, start from 15 to 20 minutes at a time. After few days, after the passage of 4 5 days or a week, you can enhance this up to half an hour. And then after that, 3 quarters of an hour after another week. So this way we can hit the 1 hour walk a day. Or if at all you want to practice 1 hour in a gym, do not take it from the day one. Whatever we want to do, we need to take it step by whatever habit we want to adopt. Start small to create a habit. Now the next is, reward yourself for doing uncomfortable thing. Whatever uncomfortable thing you have done, whatever uncomfortable thing you have done, I think that we need to reward ourselves. We need to reward ourselves, like treating ourselves in a restaurant, in a restaurant of our choice, or whatever the way you can, but it should not be, must not be something addictive at all. So something which is okay, which is positive, which is harmless. So we must reward ourselves for doing any of the uncomfortable thing. And we can also keep in our mind, and if at all I succeed in doing this uncomfortable thing, I will be rewarding myself with this thing. Now the next is, it is visualize a place where you feel calm. Visualize a place where you feel calm. Yes, we need to visualize a place indeed, my dear friends, where we can feel calm. Visualizing, it is like a meditation. Meditation is useful for everybody, needed to everybody, particularly those people who remain in the stress. And as for this visualizing a situation, a scene, visualizing a scene where where you feel calm. So it actually means that this is my destination. I want to be here. So we are visualizing our target, our destination. So visualizing of our destination, it is always beneficial and always useful, my dear friend. Now the next is, we must understand that the most extraordinary learning experiences come from being uncomfortable. The most extraordinary learning experiences come from being uncomfortable. That is what we need to understand. So this thing is called take a fail forward approach. This thing is called take a fail forward approach, dear friends. The next is, evaluate your risk tolerance. Evaluate your risk tolerance. How much of the risk can I tolerate? That is what I need to understand. If at all there is something situation which is monetary, I think that in a monetary situation, and come from being, that is, evaluate your risk tolerance. I need to evaluate my risk tolerance, my dear friends and fellows. I need to evaluate my risk tolerance. Now, the 10th is, acknowledge your fear. Acknowledge your fear. We need to acknowledge our fear, because acknowledging our fear, that is very, very important. Fear is there. How can we somehow overlook it? We cannot overlook it at all. We cannot overlook it at all. We need to we acknowledge your fear. Mean, this is my fear. So that if at all, unless and until I don't acknowledge it, I cannot understand that how can I overcome it, unless and until I do acknowledge my fear. Everybody has certain fears, and I think that we do need to acknowledge our fear. That is very, very important. Now the 11th is, make incremental, increasingly challenging changes. Make incremental, increasingly challenging changes. Yes, mean incremental way to somehow bring the changes. Not suddenly, not suddenly, because our body might not take it, our situation, our capabilities might not take it. So we need to do it on an incremental, make incremental increasingly challenging changes. Now the 12th, the next is train your fearless muscle. We need to learn how to control the fear, how to come out of the fear. How can we become a fearless person? We need to take it, we need to understand it, we cannot ignore it at all. Training ourselves to become a fearless person, it is something which is very, very important. Now the next is find a role model to emulate. Finding a role model to emulate, so important, so important. Finding a role model to emulate. Now the next is remember what you want to achieve must not be forgotten, must not be very vague about it. We must be very clear. We must remember what I want to achieve, so that because the time we are having, the energies we are having is not an unlimited one. So, if at all it is that much limited, so we must understand what is my target. If at all I'm training myself to step out of the comfort zone, what are my targets to achieve? Unless and until I do understand my targets, I might be wasting my time, or at least I might not be able to avail that time in the best possible manner. I might not be avail that skill, that training, that new capability which I am achieving by stepping out of my comfort zone, by gaining the strength which I am gaining by stepping out of my comfort zone. Remember what you want to achieve. Now the next is partner with someone to learn a new skill. Because if at all you have got a skill, another person has got a skill, and you want to learn that skill, speak to that person that I will teach you this skill if you can teach me that skill. So in this manner you do teach him a skill, do you teach them a skill, and they will teach you a skill. In this manner, I think that we can keep learning the new skill. Now the 16th is engage in gradual exposure practice. Engage in gradual exposure practice. Whatever the new situation is, why to throw ourselves suddenly into that? Why not to engage in gradual exposure practice? Now the 17th is make the objective worthy of your discomfort. Make the objective worthy of your discomfort. Make the objective worthy of your discomfort. So I think that whatever we want to achieve, I think if at all, whatever training we are providing, we are imparting on ourselves, this training of keeping ourselves out of the comfort zone. I think that we need to have a worthy goal, that why am I putting myself in a discomfort like this one? My goal should be worthy enough. It shouldn't be too small. It should be worthy of all that. And now the last is bring along something familiar. If at all you are in a totally unfamiliar situation because you want to stay out of the comfort zone, that's very nice, that's very important. But there should be something along with you which should be somewhat or up to great extent familiar one. So we can bring a person along. I mean, we can go there along with our own company, with the best of our company, or we can take any other thing like our favorite book, our favorite music, whatever we want to do, whatever something which is very familiar. We can do the meditation over there. We can say the prayers over there. The most common of all these things, which is now extremely familiar to all of us, rather which has become quite addictive, and this thing is called the smartphone. If at all we are putting ourselves in a very much unfamiliar situation, so we should be having something with which we are very much familiar. So this could be our smartphone, it could be anything else. And it is better if at all you are not that much dependent upon the smartphone, because a huge dependence on the smartphone, that is not something good at all. But one thing is still there is a ray of hope as well, that if at all we are using the smartphone up to that extent, We should be downloading certain very good videos which could keep us motivated, which could train us, and we can use it for the sake of the training purpose. We can use it for the sake of the motivational purposes. So this actually means that despite the fact that we are on our smartphone, but instead of getting the bad effects of that, we are rather getting the very good effects of that. We are rather strengthening ourselves even more, even better. So dear friends and fellows, these are over a dozen tips how to step out of the comfort zone. I think that these are all the tips are very very useful, very beneficial. I need to learn and adopt it. You need to learn and adopt it. Each one of us need to learn and adopt it. This is something which is very 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 important for each one of us. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.